Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Abdullateef Adedeji. Can you
Yeah,
hear
good.
me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you also hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming for
Yes, I can
the.
hear you. Can you also hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for coming for the Yes Initiative Conversation episode 12. And good afternoon to my dear viewers. It's another conversation today, and we
Okay,
are addressing
good.
topics that centers around entrepreneurship. As you know, we've come a long way from episode 1, episode 2, 3, and now this is the episode 12. We've done this thing 12 times, like 12 days we've been hosting this program. So here with me is another guest, and he's a teacher. He's a teacher with a difference, not just a regular kind of a teacher, but a teacher with difference, a teacher making impact in his own industry. There are teachers and there are teachers, but he has chosen to distinguish himself among the regular kind of teachers. His own teaching style is so unique that when you hear his story, you feel like wanting to be a teacher too, because he's going to share and it's going to be sharing amazing tips with us on how he was able to come up to this stage and impacting other teachers too. So this is a teacher that is training other teachers, if I'm not mistaken. A, te- a teacher's teacher, be teacher's coach, or how do I put it? Teacher's coach, right? Or teacher's teacher. So he trains other teachers, even if himself is a teacher. So get ready for an exciting conversation with us this afternoon. And as you know, how we do this thing, engage on this post as much as you can, be visible, share this post with your friends and enemy, tag anyone that needs to be in this that needs to watch us right now. Mention their name in the comment section. Yes, mention their name in the comment section. Use the share button and invite your friends and your enemies. You're not the only one that ought to be listening to this conversation. So stay tuned and be visible. I would like to see those that are engaging and those that are watching us live. Thank you. As we move on, okay, our guest is going to be back shortly. So please engage on this post. We'll be back shortly. Engage on this post, like, comment, share, and tag your friends to be a part of it. I believe from episode 1 to this moment, we've been enjoying the conversation. We've been learning one or two things about entrepreneurship from the amazing guests that have graced this show. And today is another edition of it. I'll be learning from Abdullateef on how he was able to scale through being a teacher, because we understand that teaching job is not for the faint-hearted. Teaching job is that job that you will do more and you are paid less. Yes, you will do more and you will be paid less, because they expect you to shape the lives of the children. They expect you to shape their life, impact them, but you earn little for your efforts. I would say I've been a teacher I would say I've also taught in a school setting for 4 years before I decided to say, oh, teaching is not for teaching in a school environment is simply not for me. You get. So I've always loved to teach. I had passion for it back then when I was in the university. All through my years in the
Hello,
school,
can you hear me?
all through my years in school, I was teaching. But then the salary and all that was not commensurate with my efforts. And after school, I decided to quit it and say, no, this is not the kind of life I want to live. I cannot be earning 20K, 16K, 10K, 5K just to teach students. Yes, so I decided to quit it. So with us here is Abdullateef, and he's going to tell us how he has been doing his own kind of teaching outside outside the school wall, and how it has brought him to this point that he is. So welcome once again, and let's get it started. Mr. Abdullateef, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you also hear me?
All right, so yes. So let's get started. Briefly tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, first, thank you so much for the opportunity to be part of this amazing initiative. Thank you so very much. I really don't take it for granted. And then just to go straight to the point. So, my name is Abdullateef Adedeji, and I'm the flipped classroom expert. And what that simply means is that I train teachers on how they can implement the flipped classroom. So, the flipped classroom is actually an approach to teaching. It's an innovative approach to teaching, whereby teachers can teach in some way, give students access to materials before they come to class. And the major aim of that is to enhance their learning and to make sure that students are engaged. So this is basically what I do. I train teachers on this model and also do a lot of other things with teachers. On one side, I'm also the business of teaching strategist. So what this means is that I train teachers on how they can create profitable business out of their teaching career, which is something I've been able to do myself. I'm very sure this is something. This I'm going to speak more about this as we go along in the conversation. But I've not just done it; I also help other teachers do it too. So that's it. Thank you.
All, all right. As you've heard from him, he said he's a classroom expert, a classroom expert, a flip classroom expert. So he trains teachers on different tools that can aid their teaching experience and also help the students or pupils learn very fast. In a moment, please give me a moment. So he's a teacher that trains other teachers that with different tools that can make them stand out in the school environment, in the school, in their workplace. So I'd like to ask Abdulateef, how did you get started in this teaching business? How did you get started, and what prompted you to be a teacher? Because I believe that teaching aside teaching teachers aside teaching teachers, you are also a teacher currently in a school. Am I right? Are you a teacher in a school?
No,
No, no, right?
I don't currently teach in
All
a
right. So
school.
how did you? I didn't get you. Okay,
In a
so I would
school.
like to ask, how did you? All right. So how did you get started as a flip classroom expert? How was the journey like for you? What
Okay, if
prompted
I
you
get the
to
question
going
correct,
into that?
it is a teacher.
How? How did you get started in the business of classroom, of being a flip classroom expert? What was the journey like for you? And what prompted you to going into that
Oh,
line of business?
okay. Oh, thank
Okay, so the network is logging out my guest. I believe we'll be back shortly. Asking him how he was able to get started in this flip classroom business of a thing. He said he's not currently working as a teacher in a school setting, no. But he trains teachers, those that are already in school settings, to with how to use the flip classroom tools to enhance their teaching style and also to impact the lives of the students that are committed into their hands. Like I was saying initially, that even me, I have once been a teacher. Yes, I've once been a teacher. Maybe that is why I do coaching today online. I prefer to coach online than as I prefer to coach online and offline as well, training my knowledge, like giving and teaching on my own knowledge than working in a classroom environment, training, teaching students. Because I've done that for 4 years, and like I said, teaching job is that job that you will do so much more for less pay. Yes, you do so much more for less pay. And in this country that we have to embrace different skills, different means of making money, even as a teacher. As a teacher, there are diverse ways you can make money as a teacher. There are diverse ways you can make money. It's not limited to the classroom. While I was teaching, I used to do home lesson. After rich parents, kids, I teach them in a week. Like I prepare them for WAEC exam that I taught back then. They made their person that can handle. All right, so they saw me as a go-to teacher that can handle children perfectly well and help them achieve success in their examination. Back then, I was training on mathematics, English, verbal, and quantitative. But yes, I was handling primary school students, basic 1 to 6 students, and also preparing them for exams. So, like I said, I have experience as a teacher. Maybe that is why whenever I share my content online today, I love to be detailed. I love to explain it in such a way that a child can be able to understand my point of view. A child can be able to say, oh, I understand what Maureen is saying. I understand what this message is talking about. So I don't share a message and leave you confused. No. So teaching has been a thing for me. Teaching has been a thing for me. Maybe that is why I decided to go into teaching in another way in terms of coaching programs. And I train people on writing, I train people on slide presentation and other thing that has to do with sharing my knowledge with others. So that is just it. I really don't know why the network keeps logging out my guests. I hope it comes back very soon so that we can proceed from here. So, are you watching me right now? Are you seeing me? And you've been a teacher before? Yeah, or you are currently a teacher. Please, let's see. Drop it in the comment that you are currently a teacher. Drop it in the comment section. Or you are aspiring to be a teacher. Let's see those that are teachers in our midst. Teachers are the, how do I put it? They are the ones that shape the lives of the children that grow up into adults and make up the society that we find ourselves today. So teachers, I believe that they should be paid very well. To me, I believe they should be paid very well. Or if not being paid well, they should have diverse means of making money. Diverse means of making money. It shouldn't just be limited to the money that they are earning from the four walls of a school. No, because the four walls of a school can only pay you 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. In fact, the biggest school so far, I'm sure, I don't know if there's any big school today that pays up to 200,000 naira to a teacher. I don't know if such exists. Maybe could be foreign school that are based in Nigeria. Maybe you can see salary of such like that. But in the real sense, you will know how much work you will do in order to earn that kind of money. 200K as a teacher. You work and work and work. You will know that you are really working to make that money. You get it now. So teaching job is not for the faint hearted. So there are different ways you can make money even as a teacher. You get. So are you back now?
Yes, I'm back. I'm so sorry. The network is really disturbing a lot here. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, so let's proceed. Question.
Okay. The question you asked the other time is how I get started as the flip classroom expert. Okay, so to just give a little bit of a background of it, and I would like to start the question from how I get into the teaching profession itself. Growing up, I don't want to be a teacher like most people, but then a lot of things happened, and I found myself in a college of education. So I studied computer science, mathematics. I intentionally mentioned that so that you can know because it's going to be needed at the later part of the story. So I studied computer science, mathematics, and then but then I was still doing it. I'm not really still interested in the profession yet. But then I went for my first teaching practice. And in that teaching practice, I so much enjoyed the experience, like the relationship I was able to build with my students, able to impact their life even beyond the classroom. And I fell in love with teaching immediately. So I finished my NCE in 2019. And in 2020, I relocated to Port Harcourt to start, go back for my degree program. And then I started teaching, and excuse me, 2 months after I started teaching in Port Harcourt, that's April, COVID-19 struck. But before then, I have got connected to some educator, and I'm going to be taking out the lesson. Is that before then, I've been following some educators online on Facebook. I've been following them. I've been seeing their work. Even though I studied computer science and I've worked even before I relocated to Port Harcourt. I've worked for 6 months as a computer operator and instructor. But then around that period, Web saw that we can use PowerPoint to teach. So I started learning how to use PowerPoint to teach. Okay, I learned how to use PowerPoint to teach. That's it. And then COVID-19 struck. So when COVID-19 struck, these educators, especially those that are familiar with the use of Zoom and all these other platforms that they can use to teach online, they started rolling out trainings. And so I have the opportunity to be part of one of the trainings. So I learned how to make use of these tools to teach. Okay, so I hope you're taking this. The first one was that I make the best use of social media. So I'm not just following anybody. I follow the people that are doing that in my industry. So because I follow them, I'm able to have this opportunity to see that opportunity when it comes. Because it's a different thing to be looking for opportunity. Is another thing to be where opportunity can see you or be where you can see opportunity. That's one. Two, so when I learned the skill, and because even though I don't have it in mind to become a teacher from the beginning, I am this type of person that I love to help people. I love to share my knowledge a lot. So I love to, whenever I know something, I love to share it. And so as at this time, I'm teaching in a private school, and schools are closed down, and we're just there. We're supposed to resume, I think, April 20th. So we are all called to school, all the teachers, and we're there. We're having meeting, and this was the time when I learned how to teach with digital tools. So I informed the school, the head teacher, that I just learned this thing, and I don't know if you can actually adopt this thing in the school. Maybe we can be able to continue teaching our students while they are at home. Really, and since most of them actually have this thing, they have smartphone, their parents have smartphone. So that's the idea. So I was asked to train the teachers then, and this is like maybe less than 2 weeks. In fact, I am still on that particular training program then. So I trained the teachers on how to go about this thing, how to use Zoom, how to use Google Classroom. And from there, I started building a brand online. I started talking about, started encouraging teachers to get into teaching online, to go beyond just teaching in the classroom, where once schools are closed down, there's a limit to their income. There's nothing they can do again. So I started that, and I started teaching online. I started encouraging people, schools, that they should adopt this. But then one thing, something happened. So I started doing this, organizing future, started organizing a lot of things like that. But then it gets to a point where the limits on the schools that were closed begin to be open, and then the lockdown has been lifted, and schools are opening up. And to my surprise, my biggest surprise was that most of the teachers and schools that have decided that okay, they want to take this, they want to adopt this innovative method now. They don't want to just limit at teaching to the classroom anymore. They also want to start leveraging online tools to teach. Decide to just stop. And why? Because now school has reopened, so they don't see any reason why they should do it again. So the question now, so I was baffled, and the question that was on my mind for many weeks was that, can technology only be a replacement for traditional classroom? So that, is it that there's no way technology can be used in the classroom while we are teaching? Is there no other way technology can be used except when everything is locked down and then we have to use technology to replace the normal face-to-face classroom? So that was the idea. And it was the time, so it was around this time also that I got to know about the flipped classroom. And I was so very excited about this. And part of the reason for this is that growing up to, even though I teach mathematics now, I'm studying mathematics, I teach mathematics now, I have a lot of challenges with mathematics. In fact, there was a point in my life where I was at level zero in mathematics. I was considered a math dummy, not even considered. I know myself that I'm a math dummy at that time. And then one thing I did not have is that one of the things I feel like if I have had, I would have been able to overcome that challenge quite earlier, was having that individual support from my teacher, having a teacher that I can go and meet, that can gain that individual support, can have that individual support from learn. And I'm this type of person that learn at my pace, have videos that I can watch on my own, watch many times as possible so that I get it. So these are the things, it is the opportunity I see in the flip classroom when I get to know that in 2021. And once I get to know it, I feel like, wow, this is something I want to stay with. So I started, and then the thing is, this an approach has been used in first world country. They've been used in US. In fact, it was, we cannot say the approach is invented in 2007, but it was popularized in 2007 by two teachers in Colorado. Okay, but then these are things that they're adopting in other countries, and I feel like, wow, based on my own experience as students generally, but personally, I feel like this is something that can revolutionize our teaching and learning in African classroom. And this is something that students can actually get access to and can change their student career. You know, it can improve their academic performance. Not just that, it can also help them to develop some skills that are vital in this 21st century. And seeing all this opportunity, I decided to go for it. So I decided to take that responsibility for advocating for the implementation of the model, and more than that, to also start training teachers on how to make use of the flipped classroom. So that's how it started, and that's how it has been going. So I hope that answered the question.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that
Oh,
insight.
can you hear me?
That Yes, I can hear you. Are you done?
Hello,
I can hear you.
hello, can you hear me? Oh,
I can hear you. Can you
have
hear
I
me
been
too?
audible?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me too? Dear
Yes, I
viewers,
can hear you now. So
all right.
I just shared how I get started as a flip classroom expert.
Yes, I got your story. I got your story. So, dear viewers, I hope you are learning something from what you just shared now. Please, please, please don't just view us without leaving a comment. Let's know those that are watching. I know you are watching us, you are seeing us like this as we are talking, and you're not engaging. How do I know those that are watching us? So, please, please, please drop it in the comments that you are picking a lesson from what is he has shared so far. So, the flip classroom tools that he just shared now, he just told us the story of his how he started, and this is dated back in 2020. The year 2020, the period of lockdown was um a year of I don't know how I want to put this thing now, but it was a year where social media was taken more seriously. Prior to the time, people were doing businesses. Many people were doing it offline. Many were even doing it online, but they were not taking it as serious as at when COVID hit the world, right? So social media was that period. That 2020 was a period where people had no choice than to maximize the tool available in their before them, which was social media. And during that period, many people went out of their way to learn different skills, different skills to become to thrive that period of time, to thrive that period. And based on his story, he said that he started taking trainings on the flip classroom, how the flip classroom work back then in 2020, which he has built himself around now and has become a better trainer. And I would like to have asked him, maybe when he comes back, that this flip classroom, is it all about social media, or is it all about is there something more like Zoom? He mentioned Zoom. Yes, he mentioned Zoom also. Yes, Zoom. Then social media is also Zoom. Social media is a social platform, while Zoom is a online meeting platform. So yes, Zoom is where you meet with where you can have official meetings and all that. Yes, that's Zoom. I don't think Zoom is a social media platform. So, no, it's not just a connecting point for official meetings. Why social media platforms are like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, what else again? Yes, WhatsApp and all that, where you connect with people, you sell your service, you sell your product and all that. So, Abdullateef, there's something I wanted to ask you. These flip classroom tools, you mentioned so you started using social media and all that. I would like to ask, what are these tools? What do these tools comprise of? What these classroom tools now, what do they comprise of? And if I would also add, is Google Classroom part of it? Because I'm aware of Google Classroom and I'm very good at using that app. So is Google Classroom also part of the Flip Classroom tool that you are talking about? Thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I guess the network is doing him strong thing. The network is doing him strong thing today. So while we wait for him to come, I would. Can you hear me? While we wait for the network to be stable on his end, at his end, let's. What do you think these flip classroom tools could likely be? What do you think it could likely be? Because you mentioned social media. If I would say Google Classroom should also be part of it, because Google Classroom is a platform where you can train as well online. For those that don't know, you can try searching Google Classroom on Play Store and download, especially as a knowledge coach. If you are the one that trains people and you love to be as practical as possible, you can use Google Classroom. I've enrolled for a diction program before as a student. I've enrolled for a diction class before where our coach then used Google Classroom all through the training process. Google Classroom. And it was an amazing platform to use. It's still an amazing platform to use. So, are you a teacher currently, a coach, or you teach your knowledge? You might consider moving on to Google Classroom if you don't have it yet. There are diverse ways you can train your students. There are diverse ways you can train your student. It shouldn't be limited to WhatsApp alone. It shouldn't be limited to WhatsApp alone. We have Telegram. Telegram is there. Even we can do Zoom as well to train. Yes, an official training, you can use Zoom. I'm currently a mentee under the Smile mentorship program for 2023-24, and I must tell you that part of the tools we are using to part of the mode we are using to learn is through Zoom, through Zoom. In fact, that is the major tool. We meet on Zoom for meetings, and we meet on Zoom for training. Do you get? So Zoom is a very, very powerful tool that can help you host official meetings and official trainings. Telegram too is also part of it. Telegram, the feature of Telegram is also nice. Yes, you can do video and you can do audio with Telegram. And you can also do chats, text format, depending on how you want it. Even WhatsApp too is trying now. WhatsApp have started introducing some amazing feature in a group in the group platform. Whereas you can even do screen recording of your training on WhatsApp now. Yes, you can do screen recording of your trainings on WhatsApp. Yes, so how about which other one again? Yes, these are the training platforms that I know. Google Classroom too, you can try it, like I said. Just explore that too. It's platform, an amazing platform you might want to try out. With that Google Classroom, you can give assignments. You can give assignments there, and your students will go there and assess that assignments and even submit. Yeah, they can submit the assignment on Google Classroom. So, so that is that about the different tools you can use for training. I don't know what my guest wants to share about his own flip classroom tools, but the network is not allowing him to join me here. I don't know why. So how has it been so far? Have you been learning a lot from this session? Even though I've been the one talking the most because I'm waiting for my guests to connect back so that conversation can flow on. So how has it been? Can I see those that are watching me now? Can you drop your question? Okay, if you have a question, ask me to. Let me see if it's something I can attend to. Drop your question. If there is any question you want to ask, could be directed to me, could be question for my guest. Drop it. Let's see if I can use that to keep us busy while he joins us back. So ask me question, ask me question, ask me your question.
Okay.
ask me question. Drop your question in the
Hello.
comments. I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
So,
hear you.
I'm so sorry about my network. So you were asking, yes, I can. You're asking a question about the tools that can be used to implement the flipped classroom at that time, and if Google Classroom is one of them, right?
You say what? No, I'm asking that what are the
Okay.
tools that make up
All right. So if you can hear me, I'm just going to
classrooms?
go right. Okay. So actually, flipped classroom itself is not a tool. It's just a model, just an approach to teaching. And now, when you make use of this approach, one of the ways to implement it is by leveraging technology. Now, when leveraging technology, there are some technology that we make use of, and those are things that we used to create because one of the major components of implementing a flipped classroom is making use of video. So, so part of using tech there is that you create the video, and creating video to create after creating the video, you have to share the video, and then you mentioned Google Classroom the other time. So Google Classroom is one of the tools that we can make use of, and that's under learning management system. So it makes of a learning management system, and it can be a Google Classroom, it can be any other one, it can be Microsoft Teams, it can be Edmodo, it can be a lot of them like that. There are a lot. It can be Edpuzzle, so that we can use to arrange the materials so that students can get access to it and they can be able to like have access to it. So the idea of the flipped classroom itself is that students get access to material before they come to school, so that when they get to school, teachers are not making use of all the time to give them basic information anymore like before, but they are making use of, they are utilizing the time to engage with the students, give them individual support, and to be able to show them and to work with them in knowing how to apply the concept. So the idea before is that students, because of time, students only get access to basic information about what they are learning. Okay, and before the teacher finish writing notes and doing all those explanation, they are just little time left. So even with the explanation, they are learning. But in this case, students have the materials before they come to class. So because they already have a prior knowledge, a basic knowledge about what the teacher is teaching already, teachers don't need to start from the beginning again. You just need to evaluate their understanding. Okay. And to give a typical example, let's say I want to teach short video that will show them different means of transportation and what transportation is, importance of transportation. So after they have watched the video and they come to class the next day, I'm not the one teaching them again. I'll just ask them to teach me. And how do I do that? By simply ask them to tell me what they have learned from the video that I've given them earlier to watch. So everybody will start telling me. And just like everybody here is watching this thing now, you can be together, you can be 5 or even 2 watching this video, watching me talk right now. And after, if I ask you to tell me what I've just said, you're not going to tell me the same thing. Or when you watch movie, two person or thousands of people can watch the same movie, they're not going to narrate it the same way. So the same way, students are going to narrate this thing in their own way, based on their own past experience. They're going to give their own different examples. So the advantage of this is that because they are saying this thing on their own, they are learning communication skills. So developing communication skills, they are able to express themselves confidently. Not only that, most of the time, there's something that there might be a particular concept that some of these students don't understand yet in the video they have watched. But when they listen to their peer explain it in his or her own word, they get it from it. So that's why, because students actually learn more from the teacher. So they are explaining it in their own word. So if you don't get it from one particular person, you're going to get it from the other person. So that's the advantage. So they get to learn from each other. So after then, we can now start, like, let's say I can now take it further to a group discussion. I can try to have 4 groups where I have one group talking about air transportation, another group talking about rail transportation, another group talking about air transportation, another group talking about road transportation. So they come together, they work in groups, they give presentation about, okay, what are the examples of air transportation? They share experience about, maybe we have students have been on the plane before, they have traveled by plane before, they share their experience, and we are able to have an engaging class. So in this type of class, a teacher is not just a sage on the stage, it's not just a at the island of the knowledge, is actually a co-facilitator with the students. So they are learning and teaching together. So I think this is very important.
My guess is hope again. So from what he shared, I came to understand that flipped classroom is flipped classroom is the newly introduced style of teaching where students can also teach the teacher. Where the student can teach the teacher, because prior to the class, the student would have gone home and do some thorough assignments, or yes, thorough work against the next class, such that when the teacher comes into the class, she doesn't have to start all over again and from the beginning to teach. She's just going to test the knowledge of the student. You will know from the flipped classroom now, we can actually tell those that are serious and those that are not serious. Those that are serious with their studies and those that are not serious. Because we know those that truly carried out the assignments by studying. There's something about preparation. Preparation will give you that confidence. Preparation wants you to speak out when question is being thrown at you. Yes, because you know what to say. You're already prepared for it. You're prepared for that question. If the teacher should even ask the question in any angle, you'll be able to attend to it because you came ready, you came prepared. So I want to believe that the flipped classroom is a newly introduced technological style of teaching that helps both the teacher and the students stay interactive in the course of the teaching process in the classroom, right? Can you hear me?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I will from what you said, I will say that the flipped classroom kind of
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
introduced an interactive mode of
Yes, I can hear you.
communication.
So I said yes. So it's
Yes,
not
I said,
actually new.
can you hear me now? Can you hear me? So what I'm saying is, yes, the network is off again.
Yes, I
So
can hear you. I
what
can
I'm
hear you. You
saying,
can go. I can. You can go on.
and what saying is that the flipped classroom style of
Yes, I can
teaching
hear
is a
you
way of
clearly.
introducing an interactive style of teaching where the teacher teaches and the student respond, or the student have been given an assignment to go study a particular aspect of a subject before the next class. So when they come to the class, it's no longer looking new to them. Then instead of the teacher starting from the scratch to teach them, she
Yes.
just ask question that who can explain certain things to us, who can tell us, who can come out and teach about this thing, so that the teacher will sit down and watch the student teach the class, and she will know if truly student actually that student actually got trained, as in that student actually learned what she was asked to learn, right? So I think it's a good way. It's a good way. Teaching should not be boring. Teaching should not be boring. Teaching should not be a one-way traffic kind of yes, kind of thing. It shouldn't be one-way traffic. It shouldn't always be the teacher talking. Do you understand? And the student will say, yes, ma, without asking question. In fact, there are some teachers that don't like students asking question because one, they are afraid of the student asking question that they will not be able to answer. Their students, their teachers like that. There are teachers like that that are afraid of being challenged by their students. And these are teachers that are just occupying space. They don't really know what they are teaching. So I believe this method of flipped classroom will help any teacher, will help any teacher stay prepared and also prepare the students to do well in class. I believe if every student can be practical in their approach of learning, it makes whatever the teacher is teaching to stick in their head and not just learning theory. It makes the teacher and the teaching stick in their head. While I was a teacher, I love to be very, very practical with my teaching. This is why my style of teaching endeared me to many parents back then, that they were just bringing gifts for me. On my birthdays, they will bring gifts. They will prepare cake for me just to celebrate me. I was just this kind of teacher that every parent wants to have their children. Every parent wants to have to train their children. You get it now. So I was this exceptional teacher. Even when I was leaving the school felt my impact. My colleague, my fellow teachers also felt my impact of leaving, because parents felt my impact too, because they were asking who will not train my who will not teach my children, because they were even doubting if there's another replacement that can train their children the way I handle their children. So I don't know if there's any special thing that I did then, but I love to be as practical as possible when training children, so that they can learn that thing and become perfect and pass, and also apply it in their exams. There is nobody that I trained that failed, especially this WAEC and yes, WAEC GC that period. No one failed because I did it as though I was the one going to write that exam. So thank you very much. I believe your network is not stable, and because of that, I'll be brief with the next question, and I want you to be brief with your answer too, so that we can round up on time. So this flip classroom now that you are doing, would you say it's a purpose path you are currently trading? My guess is off again. So I guess the network from his end is terrible. That was very terrible. It's very terrible. So that's just it. For you teachers viewing me right now, I believe you are also you are getting value. You are looking at, okay, I can do this, I can do that to improve on my teaching style when next I will be facing my students or my pupils. You get, so there are many things you can do to improve on your teaching style. Yes, interactive kind of teaching. You teach and your students respond. Your students are able to build the confidence to ask you question, and when they ask you question, you don't shut them up. You don't shut them up. You don't silence them for asking question, because anyone asking question is someone that needs clarity, someone that wants to know something. So if they are asking question, it simply means that there's something they don't know that they want you to explain to them. They want you to help them out on, to teach them. So you don't shun people, you don't shun your students when they ask question. Rather prepare for their question, because you are the teacher. You are being paid to teach them. And for that purpose, you have to give them your totality so that they can get the best. The the best of any teacher is once you are out of the school, the teacher, your colleague, yes, your colleague, the school management, and the parents should be able to say, yes, this person actually impacted the school while he or she was there. They should feel that impact of having you. They should feel your vacuum after you must have left. That is it. And it's not limited to school setting. It's also applicable to work environment. You get. So you teach as though your life depends on it. And this is why you mustn't limit your teaching to the school world only. You must have different ways of generating money. As a teacher, are you back now?
Yes, I am.
Although
Can you hear
we
me?
have
I'm back
not
now.
touched most, yes, I said although we have not touched most of the questions I
At all.
have for you, we have not touched it. But then this network, I'm not going to depend on it, because if I say I should start taking all the questions, we might end up spending like 2 hours here. So I will ask you two more questions. If the network don't fail us, I'll ask you two more questions. I will call it a wrap. I want to ask you, this flipped classroom now, would you say you are currently living your purpose now by doing this thing? Are you currently living your purpose? Or is there something more that gives you fulfillment other than this path you have chosen?
Actually, it's all together in one. So, for example, now the flip classroom that I do now, that's not the only thing I do. So, on its own part, is a part of my purpose. I train teachers on how to implement the flip classroom. That's a part. And I coach teachers on how they can create business out of their teaching career. That's a part. Even with students too, I'm also a mathematics teacher. I also teach mathematics. So the idea is that I'm a teacher. So anything I have, I know I can teach other people. Okay, so that's the idea. So they are all together. They are things I derive fulfillment and yes, purpose from.
All right. So everyone keeps saying that what they are doing currently is a part of purpose that they have chosen, that is giving them fulfillment. I keep saying this thing. Purpose is not a destination, it's a journey. Purpose fulfillment is not a destination, but a journey. As long as we keep breathing, as long as we keep moving, we always keep finding new purpose to fulfill. Yes, we always keep finding new purpose to fulfill. So at this stage that you currently are, I would say this is the purpose you are currently fulfilling. A time is coming, you will say, oh, okay, I want to move on to the next stage of my life. This is what I want to be doing at this stage. At that stage now, that will be your next purpose that you will be fulfilling. So there is no one purpose to a man's life. There are many things for anyone to do, depending on the level, the stage you find yourself. So the next question I would like to ask you is, this flipped classroom training teachers to do this thing, is it a page um, training, or something you do for impact purpose only? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I don't.
I said this flipped
Hello, I don't
classroom
get the.
training that
I don't get the last.
I said this flipped classroom training you are currently doing. Network. We are sorry, our viewers, as you can see, the network is making a mess of his session, and I hope he comes back as soon as possible to take on the last question I have for him. So, I don't know if there are teachers watching this conversation right now and you are picking something from it. Please, 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 if you need more clarity on what this flip classroom is all about. You can reach out to Adedeji Abdullateef on Facebook, possibly reach out to his inbox or so. Reach out to his inbox and ask him everything you need to ask him about being an exceptional teacher. Okay, like I said, there are teachers and there are teachers. You should be that teacher with a touch of excellence, a teacher with a difference, a teacher like no other. You can't find your teacher, your kind of teacher anywhere else. You are just unique to yourself. So you can go over to his inbox and learn more, if possibly pay him to learn. So I was asking you, I don't know if you can hear me. I was asking you that this flip classroom training that you do currently, is it a paid program, or you're doing it simply for impact purpose? Can you hear me?
Okay. To the question is a bit that's something that teachers have to come into. I the
Network, you lie. Network is just a mess. I wish he can just come and respond to this and we call it a wrap. Hey. So how has it been with you? How has the session been with you? Have you, by any chance or by any means, picked a lesson from what he has shared so far? I know you are seeing me, you are watching me, but you're not leaving comments, so I can know that you are seeing this. You are listening to me right now. So, what has been the highlight for you in terms of what is shared? All right. So, let's see if you will join any moment again. If it joins, fine. If it does not join, that means I'm going to call it a wrap in a moment. So, while we wait for him, dear teachers, let me start my own advice now. Dear teachers, you can be more. You can be more as a teacher. You can be more. Let's take for instance now. Currently, you are being paid. I don't know if teachers are paying up, if they are being paid up to 50K in this economy that we are. I don't really know. But let's take for instance that you are being paid 50K as salary. You are being paid 50K as salary. You can you can up your game by doing home lessons. You know that online is a great tool, social media is a great tool for you to thrive, for you to soar as a teacher. Yes. Let me not start my own. Are you back now?
yes, I'm back. I can hear you. I hope the
Can you
network is
can you
like
answer the question I asked before you left?
okay. So what I say, I actually answered. I don't even know that I was not able to uh, connect. Okay, so the idea is that the question is if the flat classroom training I do a paid training or is just for impact making. And I'm trying to and my answer is that it is both. And this is something that teachers need to elevate. This is something that a way when teachers need to have. That the fact that you're getting paid for doing something does not necessarily mean that you are not making impact doing it. Okay, so I do my flip classroom training. It's a paid training. There's a free version of it. There are times when I do it for free, and there are times when I charge for it. I do paid training, not just paid training online. I get invited to school to come and train them. But even though I'm getting paid to do that, it's also a way of me making impact. Because after I've done it, it's something that lead to transformation of a lot of people. Like the learners are transformed, their learning is enhanced, the teacher's delivery too is improved, and the academic performance is also improved. So a lot of things happen. So I get paid for it, and while getting paid, I also make impact through it.
All right, thank you so much for that feedback. So, dear viewers, you can hear that he said there is a paid version and there is a version for free. So, whichever one, if you're a teacher right now, you can reach out to Abdullateef so that you can learn more from him on how you can stand out as a teacher. Abdullateef, if you can hear me right now, kindly drop your contact details in the comment section of this post after this conversation. So anyone that wants to reach out to you can easily find you and you take it up from there. How about that? The network has knocked him out again. All right, so I think he has answered that, and I hope that by the time he's back, I would have ended the stream. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for participating in the 12th episode of the Year's Initiative Conversation. It's been a journey coming, and I appreciate everyone who has been a part of it. Thank you. Thank you. And please, there is no episode next week. There is no episode next week. So we'll meet again the following week. Thank you. So, as for the teachers that I was trying to advise the other time, stand out in your teaching line. You can leverage social media. Let's take for instance now. I learned that there are schools that don't permit their teachers to do home lesson. I don't know why, but if you are the one that your school permits you to do whatever you want to do, go ahead and design a flyer about your training, your home lesson training, and start advertising it online. Let people get to know you for what you do. And before you know, you start attracting parents that can pay you for teaching their children after school. That is another way of making money. There are people making up to 80K per child. There are people making 100K and above. A lot. You can even write a book around it. Yes, you can write a book around your knowledge. You can do so much more. You can do so much more. You can write a book. You can organize private lessons. You can do private lesson where people will come and train from you, home lesson and everything. You can make money from that. So don't be a teacher that is only confined in the four walls of a school that they pay you less than 50K. You cannot survive by that. I hope this episode has inspired you, has encouraged you to go all out against against all odds to become that extraordinary teacher that you are meant to be. Thank you very much, everyone. I will see you in the next episode in 2 weeks' time. Goodbye.